What is up, internet? This is the Ninja Nick 333 back yet again with top 4 of the Pokemon San Diego Regional Championship stream that we are doing the commentary over because we are, in my opinion, better than the actual commentators. It was great they had Puka back for this one, but he didn't do any of the commentating, he just did the interviews. So, I mean, that's cool, that's awesome, but I want to see Puka on the mic. Anyways, so we have our top 4 now. Looks like Ryan beat Makani 2-1. Looks like Gibson beat Darren 2-0. Gibson was the item lock deck, so I'm actually surprised he was able to beat Reggie. Reggie usually has a very good matchup against them, because all they do is go in Regirock and one-shot you. And, like, what are they going to do? They, like, 3 or 4-shot you, so it's... Then you have Nathan beat Alex 2-0, and then you have Grant Shen beat Pablo 2-0. As you can see, if you watched the last round, Pablo punted the crap out of that that second game. So we're gonna get right into top 4. Looks like we've got Ryan Harris is gonna be playing Raikou. I'm assuming this is a Lost Box type of deck that's designed specifically to hard counter. Or are we going to see his achievements too? Let's get both players' achievements up here. So we have Ryan Harris, Salt Lake Regional top 128. That's one of the previous regionals that just happened. 2020 Dallas top 16, 2016 Georgia top 32, 2015 Philly top 16. I think I was at that one. I think I was at this regional. Yeah, I definitely was. I think this might have been my first regional. Yeah, I think so. First or second, probably. So he is going in with, looks like Raikou is what they're calling it. Yeah, I'm going to assume that this is Lost Box, because I don't know how else you power up the Amazing Rare Raikou. And yeah, I would assume that's a hard counter Lugia. I don't know what else it would really be for. Again, a lot of people have been cutting Dunsparce and Manaphy from their Lugia decks. So we got Gibson, Dallas top 4 back in 2020. In 2019, Dayton top 32, 2018 NASC top 64, 2017 Fort Wayne top 8. I can't believe none of those are in the senior division. Because he looks like he's 12. He's playing the Vikavolt, Aerodactyl stuff. He's got Raikou in his deck, Raikou V specifically as well, and he also has Ditto, so it can use the V transformation in order to swap into whatever basic V you need that's from your discard pile. That way you can loop the same Vikavolt over and over, or the same Raikou over and over. It also gives you a little bit more consistency getting out that Aerodactyl V-Star. So we're just going to go straight into the game if we can. We have on the left Raihan, Comfey, Battle VIP. Yeah, so this is definitely Lost Box. Looks like there's a Fighting Energy in here as well. So it's most likely going to be Rayquaza Lost Box, actually. I don't know why they call it Raikou if it's Rayquaza, but okay. And then on the other side, you see he's just, Gibson's just prized Zigzagoon and Drapion. Drapion is fine to have in your prizes. You don't want that really at any point in this match. Yeah, nothing super relevant. The one Melanie might come up. Melanie is very important in this deck, but I think they usually play high copies of that. But otherwise, yeah, nothing too super important on either side. Just kind of a little bit of everything. I really do like this new Raihan trainer gallery art that they have here. I think that looks really cool. I think I prefer the original, but this one looks really sweet as well. So yeah, let's get into the game if we can. Yeah, we're starting now. Also, her hair is nice. It's a cool color. So yeah, it looks like we get the Aerodactyl start, which would be great if he was against Lugia. However, he is against Lost Box, so Aerodactyl is pretty useless in this matchup. Almost gets Energy Search off of the prize cards instead of the Zigzagoon. That clearly was an easy mistake. He's going to offer the cut to his opponent. Yeah, I would be utilizing the table judges here to put out the prize cards for me. Just save that last little bit of time. Although in this match, you do see that they have 60 minutes. So they have plenty of time in order to play out all 3 games. I have still seen games go to time and turns when you're at 60 minutes and even 75 minutes sometimes. So the time probably won't be a factor, but it still could be. I do think that Gibson is again favored because this is Lost Box. Lost Box is item reliant. And as we saw in the match of Gibson versus my boy Moffitt, it just kind of shits all over the comfies. So, although since the, that's exactly why Gibson immediately gets the Zigzagoon off of the prize cards. With that Hisuian Heavy Ball, because he wants to make sure he has that so he can sort of one-shot Comphase. He can just hit him for 60 and then do the Zigzagoon Ping or Zigzagoon Ping and then hit him for 60. Just basically one-shots Comphase. With the Zapdos as well, you hit Cramorant for 120 after the weakness. If you would be only hitting 100, leaving it at 10. Without the Zapdos, so again, the Zigzagoon could come into play in that regard, but if you get the Zapdos, you don't need the Zigzagoon for that. You can save it for all the Comphase. So the math just works out very perfectly for this Vikavolt deck. So it's going to be hard for Ryan to come back with this. I think his key attacker in this matchup is going to be that Raikou Amazing Rare. If he can get that off and recycle that multiple times, he could potentially spread a bunch of damage around, maybe knock out some one-prizers on the bench while two-shotting his active Vikavolt. Unfortunately, I don't think that that's likely to be able to get off, because that Vikavolt is going to item lock him while one-shotting those Comphase and Cramorants, and he's not going to be able to play that very important Mirage Gate. So he's already up to 6 in the Lost Zone on his first turn of the game. So that is absolutely amazing. That is a really hot start. Hopefully he can get one more in there somehow, and we'll see if he can just start Mirage Gating already. Because you need to make sure that those items come out of your hand, because you're not going to be able to play them otherwise. That Aerodactyl, also important to note, it does have 1 retreat cost. So even if you were to use that, even though it's kind of a dead card in this matchup, if you were to use that as a boss's target to try to stall a turn and get out of item lock, it only has 1 retreat, so it's an easy Melanie retreat or attach retreat, etc., etc. We see the double cross switcher come out from Gibson. I don't even think I saw cross switcher at all from his whole entire match against Moffitt. But yeah, apparently he's playing at least 2 copies of that. It might be just the 2 copies. If so, very lucky to have that basically in his opening hand. He does concealed cards away a water energy. That's great to have in the discard for that Melanie, as we saw before. He was able to get the Aerodactyl V-Star out. He's Crow-batted to draw some extra cards, and he is in a wonderful position right now. Since he's playing Fighting Energy, which we finally see, we never saw that in the previous match, but the Aerodactyl can actually attack for 240. So I kind of actually like the way that this deck is built. The Aerodactyl V-Star being able to attack for 240 is pretty relevant. You do want to focus on the item lock with the Vikavolt. However, it's just great to have an option like that Aerodactyl, especially in a format where people are deciding to bring Eternatus for some reason to tournaments. You can easily one-shot an Eternatus VMAX with that Aerodactyl V-Star. We see the Cramorant get obliterated by the Zigzagoon Ping and the hit for weakness with the Vikavolt, as I described before. That is exactly 110 knockout. And the Comphase goes up, and looks like that's about it. Was that, did I have damage on it from before? No. Yeah, it was just knocked out. Yeah, so it looks like Ryan had just passed, and Gibson is now doing the standard hit Comfy for 60 and hope I get Scoop Up Net for the Zigzagoon later before he gets a Scoop Up Net, but of course he can't play Scoop Up Net because he is item locked. So that 60 damage is going to be sticking now unless Ryan has a way to... Oh, actually, no, he got the Zapdos as well here. He has the Zapdos now as well. So he needed the Zigzagoon last turn because he didn't have the Zapdos, but now he has the Zapdos, so now if any more Cramorants come down, he doesn't have to waste his Zigzagoon on those. We do see Raikou is now fully powered up. That is able to take the knockout on Gibson's Vikavolt, actually with a one-shot. So Ryan is actually able to start pulling it back a little bit here. However, that Aerodactyl V-Star is very important to know. It one-shots the Raikou, even without having to take into account the weakness on Raikou. It's going to do 240, which is Raikou V has 200 HP, so that's 40 more than it needs. But also it hits for weakness, so it's actually doing 480 damage to this Raikou V. Actually really great that Gibson actually started that because he is getting it ready to be fully powered up. We do see another Vikavolt comes down with a speed lightning energy attached to it as well. We're going to see if this Aerodactyl can get its attack going. Is he just going to use the V-Star attack? It's very odd and interesting. So we see the Luminion, that's probably coming down for the Melanie. He's going to Melanie attach a water energy from his discard pile to his active Aerodactyl V-Star so that it can absolutely nuclear warfare blow up that Raikou V. Nuke it into its... Unfortunately, there's no refrigerator like Indiana Jones hid in for that Raikou. So he's gonna be he's gonna be goner. Gonna be goner. Actually, he Melanies to the... That's interesting. So he Melanies to the Vikavolt? Looks like he must have escape roped there. So now he's doing, he's keeping the item lock going. Bringing up that Rayquaza, and looks like he knocks it out? Does Rayquaza have lightning weakness? It must. That's crazy. Yeah, one-shots that with the Paralyzing Bolt, I believe it's called. The item lock. The Seismitoad on Lightning Crack attack. So we do see the regular Raikou is now coming down. And the Raikou V can draw one extra card with its fleet-footed ability. Now that it's in the active position, we're going to see another Comfy and a Sableye come down onto the bench. This is not really looking good for Ryan. He can get up to 10 cards in the Lost Zone if he manages to get a Chorus at some point so that Sableye can attack. However, I mean, this is just such a one-sided matchup. Again, as I said before, Gibson just being able to item lock a deck that's so extremely heavily item reliant. Like, he's getting a lot of value out of this Raikou V, but, you know, at what cost here? We don't have any Mirage Gates. We need to be playing Mirage Gates if we're Ryan. That Raikou, I believe, might be able to take a one-shot knockout here. Let's see, 20, 40, 60. I think it's doing 200 right now. I think it's just slightly short because Gibson doesn't have a full bench. We see the Raihan attaches that Psychic Energy to the Sableye to get it ready and then puts a Boss's Orders in hand. That Sableye still can't attack until we play a Chorus's Experiment, so would have liked him see to a search of that. However, the Boss's Orders might be able to buy him a turn if he brings up that Zapdos and Gibson doesn't have a switch card. The Zapdos is the only thing on the bench that has a 2 retreat cost. I guess the Aerodactyl does as well, but that's 1 energy away from being able to attack, and it has enough energy right now to retreat. So either way, the fact that Vikavolt did not go down in one hit is very unfortunate. I think it only has like 10 HP left. I think it's 210 is what it has. We see the Hisuian Heavy Ball come out again. failing to find and putting his prize cards back. There is a Drapion that was a target that he could have gotten with that, but he instead decides to just fail to find, to thin that one card out of his hand and leave that Drapion in the prize cards where it belongs in this matchup, because it is just not good. There's no Fusion Strike Pokemon in Ryan's deck, so it can't attack for free. It's also not really hitting anything relevant for weakness. I mean, I think Sableye might be Dark Weak. So, I mean, maybe it could hit that for weakness, but it would be one shot again anyway if it was able to attack, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we see the knockout on that Comfey again. Or are we? Is he still playing his turn? Oh, he's playing Escape Rope. Okay. So he Escape Ropes. Raikou gets decided to be brought up. Zigzagoon for Gibson. He probably has something like a Scoop Up Net to just bring that Zigzagoon back to his hand. Looks like he does. Can't see it because the discard pile's not on screen, but that's very clearly a Scoop Up Net because he put the Zigzagoon back into his hand. We are going to see Quick Ball get rid of a Raikou V, gaining a Mew. It looks like he might be deciding to attack with the Aerodactyl V-Star this turn, since that's the thing he promoted when he picked up the Zigzagoon. He might also be trying to set up another Vikavolt this turn. He could always, like, attach for turn to it, and then Melanie to the Aerodactyl, or vice versa. So that he can attack with the Aerodactyl, but then also set up the next Vikavolt. He could also just Melanie and attach to the Vikavolt and then hard retreat the Aerodactyl, and that would work as well. And then he would be able to continue the item lock, keep that going. He has at least one turn before Ryan is able to attack with the Raikou, because the next energy attachment won't be able to fulfill the full energy cost of that Raikou. Yeah, and it looks like we are seeing the attach for turn onto the Aerodactyl V-Star, and he is lost zoning the top 3 cards of his deck with that Aerodactyl's attack. Judge, Trekking Shoes, and Quick Ball, all cards that aren't necessarily needed right now. So it would have been nice to keep the Judge, because Ryan does have a fairly decent hand size. And with these item lock decks, you like to make it so they can't play their item cards, so that their hand is full of a whole bunch of item cards, and then you do something like Judge or Marnie, and it puts all of those item cards back into their deck. Specifically, Judge is better because you shuffle instead of putting them to the bottom. And then it just makes it more likely that they're going to redraw items. Looks like, though, since the item lock is finally broken because the Aerodactyl V-Star attacked, we are going to be able to have a very explosive turn for Ryan now. So he is going to Ordinary Rod some stuff back in. We're going to see the Capture Energy come down onto the Comfey. And we're hopefully going to see that Raikou get loaded up again. I don't think that there's anything in Ryan's deck right now that can one-shot that Aerodactyl V-Star. But I don't think that that's the thing that you're most concerned with dealing with right now. I think you want to make sure that Vikavolt comes out of play. So yeah, it looks like we're going for that amazing rare Raikou. We're going to put Grass and Metal on it with that Mirage Gate. All that we need now is, I believe, a Fighting? Or no, it's a Lightning. He needs a Lightning, obviously. He does have the Lightning in his hand, though. So he is able to retreat with that Sableye. He is 2 cards in the Lost Zone short of attacking with Sableye. However, it looks like he just plays Chorus's Experiment. So now he has exactly the 10 cards he needs in order to attack with Sableye. So now he can just snipe the Vikavolt off of the bench and start loading up damage onto other Pokemon in play. He could potentially set it up so that the Raikou at some point can... snipe either the Crobat or the Luminion on the bench for a knockout as well. So if you put, let's see, 5 on the Luminion or 6 on the Crobat, the Raikou would actually be able to snipe it and knock it out. And Gibson's showing that he does have the boss's orders for game on the next turn, so it doesn't really matter what he does as long as As long as that Aerodactyl V-Star didn't get knocked out this turn, Gibson did have the win in hand. So, yeah, for those who aren't sure what happened, so Gibson revealed he has boss's orders. And since the play for Ryan that turn was either attacking with Sableye or attacking with the basic Amazing Rare Raikou, neither of those Pokemon is going to knock out the Aerodactyl V-Star, so that's going to stay in the active spot. Going into Gibson's turn, he's going to play boss's orders on that Raikou V that's on Ryan's bench, attack it, and take the last 2 prize cards that he needs. So we are going to go straight into game 2 here. It's a little too far. Double Ultra Ball for Gibson and another Melanie. Oh, and double Speed Lightning. These are not necessarily that great of prizes. The Ultra Balls might not matter. The Speed Lightnings and the Melanie definitely will. Oh, and double Scoop Up Net for Ryan as well. If he wants to have a strong turn 1, he's going to want all his Comfeys and Scoop Up Nets in his deck so that he can continuously cycle them to get as close to 10 cards in the Lost Zone as he can. So that he can at least get to 7 on this first turn in order to already be able to Mirage Gate in order to, effectively get around that item lock. Also, since he is going first, he isn't going to be able to play that Chorus's Experiment that is in his hand, which is very important. That's 2 less cards that he can get into Lost Zone, less items that he would be able to be playing. So, honestly, if I were Ryan and I'm going up against this item lock deck, I almost would want to say that I would let them go first. It might be more correct to let them go first because then on your first turn you have access to your supporter card. Now, I always prefer to go second with Lost Box just because I'm a scrub and I like being able to guarantee that I can use my Chorus's Experiment and get 4 in the Lost Zone on turn 1. But you need 7 in the Lost Zone turn 1 in order to Mirage Gate. And it looks like he has to Lost Zone a Comfey, which normally would be fine, but I don't think that that's that great in this situation. He also has to switch cart instead of Scoop Up Net, so this Comfey on his bench is already used for the turn. He also has to Lost Zone a Mirage Gate, which picking that to Lost Zone over the Lightning Energy is definitely the one you want to do, but you also want to make sure you have those Mirage Gates for if there is a turn where item lock is broken. And yeah, Ryan only gets 2 in the Lost Zone. Now, Gibson can attack turn 1 with item lock in his deck. That's how the Melanie engine is set up in there, specifically so that he can attack turn 1. So that's why I'm saying Ryan might have been better going second. Because Gibson can't attack going first turn, and then Ryan would have access to his Chorus's Experiment. But of course, that is also a little bit of a risky play. You can always just go first and then hope that Gibson whiffs on the Vikavolt setup. But, I mean, you're in top 4 right now. He's, he was 12-2-2 so far over the course of the tournament, right? So you know that this deck has been setting up pretty consistently over the course of the whole tournament. You can't just rely on him bricking now. We see the Hisuian Heavy Ball comes out, shuffles up those prize cards, putting the Melanie closer to him, but the Speed Lightning's further away. He's also completely aware of what his prize cards are now. So great. It's a great time save being able to play the Hisuian Heavy Ball so you don't have to look through your deck and just identify what's missing. You can just look at what's actually in the prize cards to identify what's in the prize cards. We do have the Battle VIP Pass bringing some stuff into play. We got the Mew active now, being able to Mysterious Tail. And we just go straight into Ryan here. We've got the Chorus's Experiment coming down, finally. Looks like easy choice of the Ordinary Rod that he can't play. Well, actually, he could play it. He's not in item lock yet. And then the Battle VIP Pass, which it's no longer turn 1, so... the Comfey goes into the active. We're going to Lost Zone that Battle VIP Pass. That is an easy decision. And we're going to get that Greninja V-Star... Radiant Greninja. He's going to immediately discard a Metal Energy to use its ability in order to draw 2 cards, and then scoop up net the active Comfey that's already used its ability, going straight into the next Comfey to use its ability. Get rid of that quick ball. Very easy decision. We are at 6 in the lost zone now. We need just 1 more. Can we do it? Is there another scoop up net? I think there's an air balloon in his hand. So yeah, if he's able to he puts down that Comfey, if he just air balloons his active, retreats into the other Comfey, and then uses that, hopefully gets like scoop up net or a switch card or something off of this. Looks like Raihan Cramorant, which is not ideal. I think you maybe keep the Raihan and get rid of the Cramorant. I don't know. You might want Cramorant as well, but it's a hard decision this early in the game. But yeah, we're going to get rid of the Cramorant. That's what I would have done. That way it's easier to get your attackers online even without the use of items. So now we're going to, I think he's quick balling or something right now. He is able to get the amazing rare Raikou into play. He has now both a Raikou V with a capture energy on it, as well as the ability to Mirage Gate to this basic amazing rare Raikou that's on his board that he just put there. Gets lightning and grass onto it. It looks like he doesn't have a metal in hand. I think I would have preferred him to get the metal down onto that Raikou. But it looks like he has Mirage Gate anyway, so it doesn't matter. So now he gets both Raikous set up. So he is just off to the races right now. He is speeding along. Fast as lightning. Zipping around like the Flash here. And yeah, we just see the pass turn now, because he doesn't have a way to move the Comfey, which is very unfortunate. But at least he was able to play the Mirage Gates. So yeah, even though he wasn't able to get any attack off this turn, that being able to get those Mirage Gates off was perfect. That's exactly what he needed to do this turn, because he knows that it's most likely item lock time. Gibson whiffed energy completely on turn 1. So now we're going to see the Melanie and likely the attached return as well, because that he went energy search, quick ball, discarding water energy. Get Luminion for Melanie. Melanie's going to get that water energy back, puts it on the Vikavolt. He actually benched the Luminion on top of the Raikou V. You can't evolve Raikou V into Luminion V. That's not how that works. I'm surprised he still hasn't even noticed it. Yeah, there we go. He fixed it. Okay. Hard attaches lightning for turn. Scoop up nets his active Mew. And now he's going to be able to paralyzing bolt. Yep, the escape rope was able to force up this Radiant Greninja, so that does do a ton of damage to it. It is 1 damage counter away from knockout. So if we get to see that Galarian Zigzagoon like we have in all of the previous games, we will see that Greninja go down in 1 benching of the Zigzagoon. We are just attaching and retreating. I'm not sure if he concealed cards or if he just attached and retreated. But then goes into the amazing rare Raikou, does amazing shot, 120 to the active, 120 to the benched Raikou. And we're going to hope that this Raikou lives a turn. I think that it's highly likely that it does. And Gibson does do the Galarian Zigzagoon benching in order to knock out the Radiant Greninja. However, that is not enough. He realizes that Raikou Amazing Rare is going to stay in play at least 1 more turn. Especially, it's going to stay in the active for Ryan. So Ryan is just going to take a 4 prize turn on the Vikavolt V and the Raikou V, leaving Gibson with basically nothing in play. And then it's just an easy boss's orders from Ryan on the Luminion in order to win the game. And he still has Raikou V after that all set up anyway. So Gibson is aware that within the next 2 turns, he will lose the game most likely. So he just scoops it up right there, saves time, and they have 35 minutes for game number 3. Probably like 33 after shuffling. So yeah, perfect scoop time for Gibson. This is what I'm always talking about with, you always want to scoop when you know you've lost. Don't play that out, just save the time. You know that you've lost that game. Just scoop and go to the next one. It's fun playing out games if you're, like, not in a timed match. If you're just playing with friends at home or at a locals or something, it's fine. But if you're, like, at a tournament where it matters, money is on the line, like a regional championships, if you're at, like, a box tournament, a case tournament, a 1K, you always want to make sure that you're using your time effectively because you only have so much of it. Now, can I see the prize cards, please? So we've got Radiant Greninja and Raikou V, and again, double scoop up net. So Ryan ended up not getting punished the last game for not having access to the 2 scoop up net that were in his prize cards. At least they're on the bottom this time, but we also see the Colress's Experiment in the prize cards. So that's overall not very good prize cards for him. As we saw, he's been leaning heavily on his Raikous, which is why they're calling it Raikou instead of Amazing Rare Rayquaza, even though that's really what it is. But yeah, less consistency because not having the Greninja, less consistency by not having the Colress, less consistency by not having the 2 scoop up net. And then on Gibson's side, he also has double scoop up net prized. Kind of funny that they both do. But other than that, nothing too super relevant. He's got Crobat V in there, but he still has access to Luminion V, so that's probably fine. So yeah, and we see a Mew in there, but we know he plays at least 2, probably 3 or 4. So, yeah, those prize cards for Gibson aren't going to matter too much. And again, this is a very favorable matchup for Gibson. So as long as he is going first, so by turn 2, I mean, he only has to hard attach twice to this Vikavolt, and he already energy searched for a lightning energy. So it's highly unlikely that he's going to miss item lock on his first turn of attacking. So Ryan is going to have his first turn. He is going second. So it is important to note that if he has access to Colress's Experiment, he will be able to play it because as when you go second, you are allowed to play a supporter on your first turn. You used to be able to do it even if you were going first, but they changed the rules because Pokemon hates us. So, unfortunately though, for Ryan, you see his hand is pretty darn dead. It looks like he has Raihan in there. He has the Hisuian Heavy Ball, but he just has, like, energy and Pokemon, and none of them are comfy. There's no switching cards. Just, yeah, just a whole lot of nothing. And Gibson is all ready to just item lock on this next turn. We do see Ryan can get the Greninja. That's the only target in his prize cards. So now he is aware that he prized double scoop up net and the Raikou V and the Colress's Experiment as well. But, oh no, he's going for the Raikou V? I think that you need to go for the... I think you need to go for the Greninja there. I mean, Raikou V is his least energy investing attacker. That can potentially one-shot the Vikavolt, but you know that your opponent is going to see the Raikou in play and just leave 1 or 2 bench spots open. As long as he can. We just see the Amazing Rare Raikou come down as well. We're going to see an energy attach. But yeah, I would have loved to see that Greninja because you need to see more cards. Your hand is completely dead, my dude. You needed that Radiant Greninja. You already have Raikou, the regular Raikou in your hand, so might as well just get that going. He attaches the Fighting Energy to the Raikou V. He wants his Raikou V to be his first attacker. He's just kind of hoping that the Sableye gets knocked out in one turn. So the Zapdos has to come down, and then also the Zigzagoon has to come down twice, but Gibson did play, does have double of the scoop up net in his prize card, so he can't really do that. He just hits for 60 into the Sableye, just a grass energy coming down on the Raikou. At least he has a lightning energy now in hand, so he can hard attach that to the Raikou in order to attack with that, but the Vikavolt already has now 3 energy on it. So it is going to be able to one-shot that Raikou V whenever it decides to come up. And you know Gibson's not going to be able to bench any more Pokemon, or not choosing to not to bench any more Pokemon in order to avoid Ryan's Raikou V's damage output. It does do 20 for each of the bench Pokemon on both sides, so I think it's 20 plus 20 for each. So yeah, so he's going to pick away at this Raikou Amazing Rare. Oh, and he just hard retreats it into Sableye? No. I mean, you do have to conserve it, but how are you you don't even have a single card in your lost zone. You're already like 3 turns in, 2 turns in, whatever. Yeah, 3 turns in. Gibson just has this god setup now with this Vikavolt. Yeah, this is over for Ryan already. Like, again, if this was game 1 or game 2, you scoop and go to the next game. But since it's game 3, now you can't scoop, because otherwise Gibson just wins the whole game. Yeah, and we see the Zigzagoon play. He's able to knock out both the Raikou and the Sableye in the same turn. Raikou is able to fleet-footed to draw 1 extra card. Looks like it's a Cramorant. We have Raikou V being able to have the Lightning Energy attached to it. Raihan to the Rayquaza, amazing rare. Gets that Grass Energy it needs on it. But unfortunately, Ryan's hand still pretty darn dead. He's also still not able to play any item cards because he is under item lock. He knows that his next turn he will be able to play items because Gibson is most likely going to be using the super attack or whatever it's called for 200 damage because he does 190 plus the 10 for the Zapdos. So he's going to soften up this Vikavolt. And the Cramorant as well is here. So he softens it up with the Raikou. The Vikavolt's going to probably just one-shot this Raikou. Gibson's going to go down to 2 prize cards, but then the Cramorant is going to come up and finish off this Vikavolt. So yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Gibson is taking that easy KO. Ryan now has access to items and has that Chorus's Experiment. That might have been the card that he took off the Raihan, but it's if not, it was definitely his draw for turn. Yeah, I think it must have been, because he already had the Mirage Gate, and I thought he was Raihaning for a Mirage Gate. So yeah, he definitely Raihaned for the Chorus's Experiment. So has to get rid of the Grass Energy, a little unfortunate, but Ryan is starting to get going now and has access to those item cards. So we're going to see if he is able to do anything. Remember, though, it is very important to note that Gibson only needs 2 more prize cards in order to win the match, and Ryan has to essentially take 2 one-shots with Raikou, or with Rayquaza, sorry. So we see the Switch Shark cart coming out, being able to put that Comfey active. Do we want Lightning or do we want Chorus? I guess we're taking Chorus, getting rid of the Lightning. Not sure it really matters at this point which one you're taking. We're going to retreat the Comfey. We're going to see Boss's Orders and Training Court, it looks like. So, I don't know. This is looking very bleak for Ryan. Even if he starts to come back, even if he takes knockouts on 2 of those Vikavolt Vs, Gibson just needs to power up a 3rd attacker. And heck, he already has a Speed Lightning on his Zapdos. He might even be able to attack with the Zapdos. I'm not sure exactly how much his damage output is, but I'm pretty sure it's enough to knock out a Comfey at some point. So this is just a very disgusting board. Gibson is just, yeah, it's pretty one-sided. Ryan's gonna have to do something like a Roxanne or something, I guess. It looks like he uses Oranguru and gets Battle VIP Pass, and Ryan's just like, yeah, I'm not playing this game anymore. So yeah, Ryan realizes that there is literally no universe where he's able to win that match and just gives it to Gibson right there. Everybody could go home. Gibson can move on to his next round where he can play in the finals. So, I mean, great play again, but unfortunately, yeah, that's just another completely one-sided matchup, and I don't know why Pokemon keeps putting them on stream instead of literally anything else. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to feed that delicious YouTube algorithm. I have V-Star markers available now. If you see me at events such as Orlando Regionals, you can come up and you can get one for free. And anyways, guys, I will see you guys for the next round, the finals of the San Diego Pokemon Trading Card Game Regional Championships.